school. Be what's the word? Be focused on what you're doing, and you can do it. And especially when it comes to music, you know, music has been said to be a universal language. And I find that sometimes, even if people don't know the words to songs, if children don't know the words to songs, if you watch them, their foot's going, or their head is going, or their body's going, or they're getting into the flow of what's going on. And that's what I pray to God daily is, give me the vim, give me the enthusiasm, give me the knowledge, and give me the ability to relate to as many young folk as I can, because they are the children. The children are the, what is it, they are our tomorrow, and they are also our today.
You know, when you look at, when you talk about the establishment of your school and your interest in music, let's talk about how you eventually, and talk about some of the nuts and bolts in terms of getting you started in your music profession and your music teaching career.
Okay. In 1989, I went into what I call a full-time musical ministry. That means I left the secular job world. I was a secretary, I was a bookkeeper, I was an administrative assistant, I was a multiplicity of doing those kind of clerical kinds of things. But I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, I know there's something more you want me to do. And I took what you call a step of faith, which means that I wasn't sure if this was going to work for me, but it has. Now, what I do every day is I teach music classes, piano, and voice enhancement classes. I'm also available, and I do things like doing choir workshops and solo workshops and drama workshops and other things. Anything that I can do to lift up the name Jesus, because I think you can do all of this through that medium of music. So what I have done is I've set up me a little studio in my parents' home, where I have pianos and electrical pianos and acoustical pianos and other time-keeping gadgets in there, where I just deal with specifically teaching people how to play the piano and enhance their vocal abilities.
What are you finding in terms of the kind of support that you get from the various elements within the community for what you're doing?
I'm getting excellent support. My main thrust of this, I think I failed to say, is that this ministry of music is to create, or rather to develop the talent in especially young folk to become church musicians. One of my themes, my main theme is I am committed to God and mankind for the conservation and preservation of gospel music. And I do that in every way I know how to do it. So the nuts and bolts of it, where I'm concerned, is I want to train people to eventually work back into the church community. It's amazing, Dr. Haney, how many churches are constantly in need of church musicians. So I thank God for putting this ministry in my heart.
You know, as a matter of fact, I think many of us seldom think about the need that churches might have. Let's talk to that. I mean, what do you find that that folks are advertising? Are they coming to you? Are they calling you and saying that send us somebody to play the piano at church? Is it that severe?
Yes, on a regular basis. And I say this in a very lovingly way, and I don't mind it happening. But many ministers call me on a regular basis, as well as other church musicians and church presidents of choirs. Do you know, ask me if I know of musicians. Churches are constantly in need of musicians. Sometimes their musicians are on vacation, sometimes their musicians are sick, sometimes their musicians just up and leave. And I cannot begin to tell you how many churches there are probably out there that just don't have a musician at all. And I just thank God again for the ability and the love and the spirituality and the great love for the need for musicians that he's put in my heart, which has enabled me to do my part.
You know, we're about 20 seconds, Lady Chapman, from our first commercial break. Of course, when we come back, we're going to talk about some other elements dealing with your music career. But I think that one of the things that is of some interest, and certainly will be of interest to our audience, is this tremendous need that the churches have, and we want to speak to that further. But first, let's have our first commercial break, and we'll be back with you following this short commercial.